So, a lot going on in the world today. There's a general election in the UK. It's Independence Day in the USA. And I'll tell you what, I need to focus. I need to concentrate on one topic at a time. So, the big story coming out for me today, the first thing I want to look at is the fact that everybody's saying Joe Biden ain't fit for office and he's going to drop out of the US presidential election race. Okay? And everyone is starting to say, including Donald Trump, that Kamala Harris, Vice President Kamala Harris, is going to take his place.
I love good news. Love good news. I just love good news.
May God have mercy on our souls.
Who's Daniel Boland? Oh, Daniel Boland, this is a heavy hitter. Do you guys know who this is?
Mark, how did I do with the debate the other night?
Oh, fantastic.
Amazing. That old broken down pile of crap.
So this is a video that was leaked of Donald Trump playing golf today. It's been doing the rounds all over Twitter. And in this leaked video, Donald Trump goes a little bit off script. He calls, as you saw there, he called Joe Biden a broken down pile of crap. And he goes on to, or appears to go on to confirm that he has insider knowledge that Joe Biden is in fact going to drop out of the presidential race and Kamala Harris is going to take his place.
Yeah, it's a bad guy. He just quit, you know. He's quitting the race.
Is that right?
Yep, I got him out of the race. And that means we have Kamala. I think she's going to be better. She's so bad. She's so pathetic.
It's so amazing.
It's just so fucking bad.
So, as was to be expected, the detractors, the Trump detractors, are using this to say how unpresidential he is. How dare he describe Joe Biden as a broken down pile of crap?
There's a lot of young women are being raped by their in-laws, by their spouses, brothers and sisters, it's just ridiculous, and they can do nothing about it. And they try to arrest them when they cross state lines.
Thank you.
Or Kamala Harris as so fucking bad.
Wheels on the bus go round and round.
Just can't imagine. But can you imagine that guy dealing with Putin and the president of China, who's a fierce person? He's a fierce man, a very tough guy. And they see him, they can't. But they just announced he's probably quitting.
Good.
Very good.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Just keep knocking him out, right?
That's it.
So that video is what it is. I'm sure if you don't like Trump, you won't like that video of him. But again, I don't feel that I've ever seen a version of Trump. I don't think I've ever heard him say anything that I think, oh God, that's completely out of character. That really throws me off. That makes me change my whole opinion of him. Him saying that the other candidates are crap and swearing and cussing a little bit does not blow my mind. It would if he came on stage and said, Joe Biden's a broken down pile of crap. And he called Kamala Harris fucking awful. Like, I wouldn't expect him to be swearing on stage. But again, it was a private conversation as far as he knew. And I think he knows this. Say what you will about Trump, but he knows how to use that to his advantage. The clip I've shown you there is the one he posted on his own Truth Social account. So he clearly knows that that's in no way damaging to his campaign. But I don't want to focus too much on that video and Donald Trump. I want to focus on what if the Democrats really are going to get Joe Biden to stand aside, to step down, and they're going to replace him with Kamala Harris. Now, the problem with Joe Biden is that people think he's not fit for office because he's got dementia or Alzheimer's or Parkinson's. Nobody knows what exactly is going on, but he clearly doesn't seem to be able to string a sentence together convincingly. Not really. Not often. Kamala Harris, in my humble opinion, is worse. Because she's not demented. She doesn't have Alzheimer's or Parkinson's. She's just annoying as fuck. And a bit retarded.
She has some bad moments. Her moments are almost as bad as his. I think his are worse, actually.
Yeah.
But
She seems pretty senile, too.
she speaks in rhyme. It's weird. It's weird. But she has bad moments. And
In rhyme? What do you?
Well, the way she talks, the bus will go here and then the bus will go there because that's what buses do. And it's weird. The whole thing is weird. This is not a president of the United States future. And I think they probably have some kind of a primary. And
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? You exist in the context of all in which you live and what came before you. And as always, Wakanda forever. Paid for by Kamala Harris.
You ain't black.
I've been thinking that we really all need a tremendous hug in the world right now.
Yeah.
But in our country, we need you to be Mamala of the country. I love Venn diagrams. I really do. I love Venn diagrams. It's just something about those three circles and the analysis about where there is the intersection, right? Yeah, I see people that you agree with me, right? So, okay, so I asked my team, I brought props.
So, just for a second, I want to point out here, yes, there's the shrill, cackling, annoying sort of idiosyncrasies that Kamala Harris has. She has this tendency to wander off and to sort of childish management speak. It's very, very strange. And that is indicative of a moron. Yes, she does seem cretinous. I'll give you that. But people can be cretinous and adorable, right? They can have some relatability. But she really has none. It's like she hasn't experienced any form of human existence at all. I'll just show you a few clips here. Here's her describing meeting her Jewish mother-in-law for the first time. This is, in this day and age, not good.
She puts my face in her hand. Says Barb and Mike, my father-in-law's Mike. She puts my face in her hand. She looks at me and she says, "Oh, look at you."
Are you allowed to do Jew voice? Because she's doing Jew voice.
"Oh, look at you. You're prettier than you're on television. Mike, look at her." No.
Okay, this is fucking unacceptable. We need to cancel Kamala. Send this clip to your local rabbi, community leaders, whatever. We cannot have Kamala Harris putting that voice on. You can't be saying, "Look at you, come over here, Mike. She's much prettier than she is on the TV." That's how it started in Weimar, Germany. So Kamala clearly understands the Jewish community. She's part of that. Let's see her building bridges with the Hispanics in Puerto Rico, right? She arrived in Puerto Rico and there was a street band doing a salsa in the street to meet her. What she didn't realize is that they were protesting her arrival in Puerto Rico. She didn't understand because they were singing in Mexican. Right? And it was quite awkward. She just slowly stops applauding as her translator explains to her what they're singing. Anyway, let's take a look at a few more classic Kamala moments.
The governor and I, and we were all doing a tour of the library here and talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time in terms of what we need to do to lay these wires, what we need to do to create these jobs. And there is such great significance to the passage of time when we think about a day in the life of our children. See, it's plugged in, so is it plugged into just a normal electric socket, right?
Yes, normally it's a 240 volt, but you can go ahead and plug in and
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we are.
That's it.
Yes, that would be it, but as you'll see as the clip goes on, Kamala continues to hold this electric charger in place as though she were pumping gas. I mean, she's going to be there for hours.
And there's no sound or fume.
No sounds or fumes coming out of that electric charger. Who'd have thunk it, Kamala?
There is nothing.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's
So
all there
for
is
all of
to
us
it.
who are used to,
Every morning we
filling our tank, you usually can smell it and you can hear it. You can hear the guzzling sound.
Right.
She is still holding the charger. She will not relinquish the charger.
None of that.
None of
so
that.
how do I know it's actually working?
It is. So typically, once you wave the card, it's actually charging. So.
But
That's,
how would I know that? Tell me how I would know that.
So typically, excuse me.
Yeah.
So typically, you come in, you wave this card,
Yeah.
and then what it would do is it would authenticate, and then the light turns green.
Yeah, asking all the questions that any normal person would. How do we know it's actually charging? Anyway, maybe Kamala's just not great at this sort of off-the-cuff human interaction. Maybe when there's a script or a well-written speech, she nails it, you know?
No, Taraji. Now, you know I wouldn't do that, especially not to a fellow bison. The real, ain't you? You know. So what's on your mind?
Oh, Madam VP Harris, I'm worried about the election. Women's reproductive rights are on the line. Our Supreme Court is on the line. Our basic freedoms are being tested, Madam VP. I know you've been traveling across the country. What are you hearing?
Yeah, girl, I'm out here in these streets.
Yeah, girl, I'm out here in these streets. Now, if that doesn't win your vote, you ain't black.
And let me tell you, you're right, Taraji. There is so much at stake in this moment. The majority of us believe in freedom and equality. But these extremists, as they say, they're not like us.
Ooh, Kendrick Lamar, they not like us, right? Amazing. Topical, black. She's from the hood.
They not.
There's a full-on attack on our fundamental freedoms. The freedom to vote.
Yep.
The freedom to love who you love. The freedom to be safe from gun violence. The freedom for a woman to make decisions about her own body, not having her government tell her what to do.
Well, anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. I don't know. Do you agree with Donald Trump that Joe Biden is a broken down pile of crap? That Kamala Harris is so fucking bad? I don't know, you know. I'd say you've got three... You're lucky. You've got three interesting different characters that could be your next president in America. So we've got Keir Starmer here in the UK. Boring, right? I mean, at least you're going to be entertained over there in the States, whatever happens. I've had enough tonight. And I'm going to leave you with a little compilation of Kamala Harris imparting some wisdom. If you've enjoyed the video, give it a like. Again, let me know what you think in the comments. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you want to help out even further with the channel, you can check out my Patreon. The link is in the description. And there's some extra videos on there with more coming out soon. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been. You know?
What can be unburdened by what has been.
What can be unburdened by what has been.
What can be unburdened by what has been. What can be unburdened by what has been.
What we can see, what we believe can be unburdened by what has been. What can be unburdened by what has been.
What can be unburdened by what has been. What can be unburdened by what has been.
What can be unburdened by what has been.
Who we can be unburdened by who we have been. What can be unburdened by what has been. Where we can be, unburdened by where we have been, and unburdened by where we are right now. What can be, unburdened by what has been. What can be, unburdened by what has been. What can be, unburdened by what has been. What could be, unburdened by what had been. What can be, unburdened by what has 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 been. Unburdened by what has been, believing in what can be. What can be, unburdened by what has been. 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 What could be, unburdened by what had been. What can be, unburdened by what has 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 been. What can be, what should be, unburdened by what has been. What can be, unburdened by what has been. What can be, unburdened by what has been. See what can be, unburdened by what has been. What can be, unburdened by what has been. What can be, unburdened by what has been. Unburdened by what has been and knowing what can be. Have a sense of vision about what can be, unburdened by what has been. To see what can be, unburdened by what has been. What can be, unburdened by what has been. What can be, unburdened by what has been. What could be, unburdened by what had been. What can be, unburdened by what has been. What can be, unburdened by what has been. Where we can be, unburdened by where we have been. What was possible, unburdened by what has been. What can be, 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 unburdened by what has been. That can be, unburdened by what has been. There are those who are unable to see what can be, but there are many more who are able to see what can be, unburdened by what has been.